All right. Hello. My name is Jeffrey K. Horkrims. I am your internet friend. Welcome to Acquisitions Intoxicated, Twitch's brewing show. The entire purpose of which, this is just the intro. Endure it, gentlemen. And then
I have to every week.
This is the launch phase of the rocket. It's vital. It provides a ritual purpose. Okay. In any case,
We filled the engine up with bullshit.
the entire purpose of the show is to reveal to you something you already own, the art and craft of brewing. You own it. Pick it up. Pick it up. It's yours. Now, we have all kinds of guests, as you can see, and I have just committed their names to memory. So be very,
have you? Come on, I want to see this.
Be
Let's
very
go.
impressed. It was wrong for a long time, thanks to cooking. All right, so I am Jerry, as I said. This is Alex from Two Beers. And you are, so is there like a ranking system like in like a design bay?
Yeah.
Like you are a brewer, but there's some other adjectives associated
Yes,
with it?
there's a lot of things you can put in front of that to make you sound important.
So which things do you have?
Currently, I believe I serve as the lead brewer, but
Lead brewer?
with a small department, technically I don't lead anyone, I don't believe.
Okay.
So,
Ghosts.
In spirit, though.
yes. So yeah, Jesse is our head brewer,
Okay.
and I serve as the lead brewer.
Okay. All right. We'll go into that later. This is Dan. You have probably seen him on the stream before, and of course, you have probably seen him in the channel as well as Mr. Dan Barine. Man,
That's me.
that's him coming to rep Two Beers, of course, and obviously to his right, Eric Benson, the notorious EJB, Azerbaijan Edge. You've seen them all. And then down at the end is Jesse.
You got it!
Well,
God damn it, everybody.
All the way around.
Absolutely feels good. But Dan was like, hey, just remember, bearded Jesse. But then I looked over here, and then there was a beard also. And what I learned is that having a beard is apparently a big deal. It's like if you're gonna go to a brewery and try to get the job, like you want to make sure that there's a lot going on in this realm.
But all are welcome. Non-hirsute individuals
Exactly.
can.
Non-bears.
Yeah.
So
But eventually, over time, it's kind of
it doesn't matter.
pushed.
It just
You
accrues.
know, it's just,
Irrelevant.
Yeah.
So, isn't there a brewery that got yeast from their
Yeah,
brewer's
Rogue did it.
beard?
Yeah.
Is that so? Are you?
Weird.
I feel like that's weird. So are you? I mean, right now it's like, is there a lot? Like, is there enough in your facial
Like
hair?
you're saying, could we pull some out? Is what you're. Could we recreate that?
Does it just accrue
Well,
on brewers?
in that one, they had to take a lot of yeast out. Like they tried several times to get yeast out of his beard.
I would only try it once, and if it didn't work, I would say,
Yeah.
hey, maybe it wasn't a great idea.
God hates this idea.
I'd say that's not good enough. Hey, but it is vitally important. So before we continue much longer, our good friend Jeff Cowles, who you know well if you watch the show, Jeff. So Jeff, you went out. Go down and.
Oh, you put it through your shirt.
Yeah.
Just perched on the shoulder.
There's another one. Now,
You son of a gun. All right.
so here's the deal, Jeff. So you
am I
went
talking
down.
about?
So you went down to Two Beers.
Extra.
You got some space.
To check it out because obviously on the stream many times we've been like we have to do something.
Yeah.
Typically it's like that typical like pub plan where it's like you're a couple in and it's like no, we have found a brewery.
I see. My job is to take those conversations and actually turn them into reality.
To crystallize them. So have you done so?
I have. So this is step one of a larger thing that I'm going to talk about really quick.
Yeah.
So on April 19th, we are actually going to do this show
Yes.
live from Two Beers.
From a brewery.
Yeah, from the brewery. And the beer that you guys create the recipe for here today will be available to test.
Exactly right.
Taste and test.
Will any other to taste test if you will.
taste test.
Will any other beers be available?
Yes, we will have. So let's take a step back here. We are going to open this up to the public.
oh, for what they want.
If you would like to come and watch a live Acquisitions Intoxicated
Great idea.
in Seattle, we are going to put up a link to sign up. And then it's going to be a lottery system because it's a limited amount of space. But we're going to have a lottery system if you're interested in attending with your group on April 19th in Seattle. You can come to the tasting room. It's a $10 cover, and that just all that covers is 3 tastes. It covers 2 beers, 2 beers from 2 Beers, and the one we're making today. And then, see, now it's whatever the Tuesday is. Is it the 16th? It is the 16th. Did I say 19th? Thank you for correcting me. It's the 16th.
Yeah.
Almost 420.
Yeah, it's the 16th. So all the details will be in the link whenever Josh puts it up, which he did already.
Yep.
And then, all the details will be there. You can come and visit. And then after the show's done filming, you're more than welcome to hang out for a while and try some of the other beers that they have. They have a ton of really cool stuff on tap that they gave me all sorts of cool samples from when I visited.
Yeah.
And just socialize with the community and until the tap room opens officially for the rest of the public.
Which y'all can hang around. It is 21 plus, just due to our license.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beer. Don't come to the beer tasting if you can't taste the beer. That's the rule.
Yeah. For those of you that are Club PA members, we are reserving a small section of tickets exclusively for Club PA access.
True.
And our Patrick will be sending you the link to that particular sign up if you are interested.
It's a separate
so that
thing
increases your chances of being able to attend.
Indeed.
So I think that's it for me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kelly.
I am going to go have my own tasting of the rest of the beers they left in the kitchen.
Is there some out front?
Yes,
Okay, good deal.
There might be a 4-pack of oaked maple, quite literally with your name on it.
The cider.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah.
All right, here you go.
It's real good. Historically, many plans are generated in that pub state.
Yep.
And they don't, exceed the larval state. And what we're providing for you is an authentic,
Post-larval.
Exactly, an authentic, cool event. Yeah, exactly. So I have a question, just about the mechanical aspects of the brewing stuff, just so I can get it out of the way, and then we'll harangue you on a variety of other topics, and then we should also drink, which is a great idea. So my understanding is that when it comes to the canning phase, because 10 years ago, if you were putting beers in cans, that would mean that you were a bad person. But now it seems like that's a totally fine thing to do, and where it started to happen, that happened in craft as well. Remember the first time I ever saw cans out of here was Fremont Brewing or something like that, and I was like, cans in my microbrewery? Never. But it's totally fine.
Yep.
It's an okay thing to do.
It's even better.
Is it easier for the brewer? Is it a lower cost option or?
I wouldn't say a lower cost option, but every can you get is like a small keg. No light can get in, no air can get in. Whereas a bottle, there's a chance that there's going to be not a perfect seal on top.
Oh, up on top. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can't. It is not a true. We're looking for a true crypt.
Exactly.
For the beer.
Yep.
There's a lot of work that goes into making sure that it is totally sterile once it hits that can.
Oh, yeah, the whole brewing process is about maintaining
80% cleaning.
So, but my understanding is that these days it's that canning, the part of the canning line, that might not even be something that a brewery owns. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's like a wheeled truck that they roll up and then they hook it in like a
Food truck.
fire hydrant or something.
So there are services we actually in our space we sublet to a company that does mobile canning and bottling.
Okay, but it isn't you guys. It's just you've worked it out.
Yeah. Well, no, so for canning we own our own canning line. We actually have 2 canning lines. Because we have the beer in obviously 12-ounce cans and 16-ounce cans.
Yeah.
We're also connected with the cidery that does the 16-ounce tall cans, and then the hard seltzer, which does the 12-ounce slim cans. We have to be super, super versatile with the style of canning that we do. So it makes
all of your output basically is in that context.
Yeah.
For more or less, right?
But for breweries that are much smaller than us, the ability to simply pay a vendor to come in and say, hook up to the tank, you bring all of that equipment, you've expended the capital. You show up and you can for us. That enables them to get product in cans. And the other big thing that has happened is you'll see a lot of cans, not just printed, but with labels on it. That used to be sort of janky.
I was just going to say, yeah, now I would say that that's a large percentage of what I'm seeing. And that's something like this taller can here,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Where it's actually been like applied, but
Yep.
like nicely applied to the rest of the can.
When even super high end, say East Coast breweries like Treehouse, you know, people that you buy it for $5 a can.
Yeah.
That allows them to do a bunch of different styles
there we
very
go.
quickly. Because the minimum amount for a printed can is you have to buy a full semi.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got to commit to making that beer for a very, very long time. And for better or for worse, the industry is going to make something different every month.
Just to maintain like your presence in a shop, or
People want something new. The fickle palate of the beer consumer.
I like new things, but I also like classic things. Beer is not a new thing
Yeah.
in general. But so hook me up here. So what do we have in this tall can here? Because I see your stuff all the time at my corner shop. Solace, of course, represent. But what's going on in this tall, strange can you've brought us?
Yeah, this is called Praxis. It was our can release.
Who
Yeah,
named
you-
it?
you got
Who
the-
named it?
Dan does most of the
Okay,
naming.
I was just gonna say this seems like some Dan shit for real.
So yeah, obviously the label you're seeing, super cool design that he handles all that for us.
Really?
Yeah, I do all that in house so we can pump out these cool new beer labels every single month. But the beer itself is a double wheat IPA, which
What?
I got the idea from another brewery. Kicked out the style. I'd actually never heard it branded that way before, so I thought that would be kind of a cool, different niche to the hazy IPA market that we tried to put out, and it turned out really nice. It's hopped with Citra and Columbus. Sits about 6 pounds per barrel, so it's really heavy in terms of its hopping rate.
But as a double IPA, it isn't in that hazy space at all, right?
It is. It's a
it
double
is,
hazy
really?
IPA. So it's 8.5%,
Yeah.
and it's similar to the other hazies. It's lower on the bitterness scale, so it's going to be really soft and palatable,
Fruity,
but
yeah.
fruity.
Floral.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of floral. The hopping is much more on the citrus side.
That seems, I don't know. That seems intense. I have had a very difficult time even at my corner store. It's probably just because it's like the hot thing right now.
Yeah.
There's no escaping this hazy shit.
No,
it is. Oh, sorry.
no, I was just saying, it's far past a phase at
Yeah.
this point.
Oh, yeah.
We're going on
It's
3
approaching-
years maybe.
Yeah, it used to be like you'd see like a hazy little thing, or you'd see like a few options out there, and now it's bonks.
Yeah, and with Great American Beer Festival last year making the hazy/juicy IPA its own category.
stamped it. Oh, there you go.
So now that there's the pale IPA and double IPA category for the hazy style, it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, here, so we should definitely check some of this stuff out. Now, I have seen Tipsy Toboggan at the store. What are we in for here?
So when Eric came out a little bit ago, and we were talking about in this whole process of putting together a beer with you guys.
Yeah.
The fact that you have steered largely away from IPAs just
For sure.
because you like it, and it feels unfair to just indulge yourself every time of like, given your opportunity, that would be it every single time.
Yeah.
But we're not you, and so we brought a bunch of IPAs.
No. Understand that that's what we like. Like we're trying to keep from being one note. We want to ultimately we want to collaborate with the channel as much as we can as well. But it would be all that. And I'm glad we've more or less stayed away, but we could go in for a couple IPAs, and that would just return balance to the force. At a certain point,
You've got a certain direction too far.
No, we've stayed away from it like too long to the point where it's weird now.
Yeah.
Right?
Why don't you call me?
Exactly.
So this is our winter seasonal, but when Eric came by, we were also talking about War Priest, because that's what you guys.
That's the legend.
That's the
That's
legend.
the legend.
So this is our winter seasonal, but it kind of walks the line on a CDA black IPA.
Well, you're speaking my fucking language there.
It's big, it's roasty. Jesse, you can speak a little bit better to the recipe of it if you want. But
Is this your baby, Jesse?
No, this is a variation of a beer that Joel, the original, like the owner, now CEO, brewed way back in the day. And I took that recipe and changed it into what it is today. That was a CDA, and that was very hoppy and very bitter. and this is a lot more approachable for a lot of other people, a little bit more sweet.
So that moves it into that winter ale category as
exactly.
opposed to the
Yep.
CDA.
Yep.
So it still does have some pretty good hop notes to it, but it's kind of that in between like a sweet brown and an IPA.
Oh,
so
very cool.
Well, look,
Comes
this all
across very
sounds
nice.
real good, man.
Yeah. This is a no-lose situation. This is great. Wow, that smells fantastic.
Yeah, nice big roast, and that is one thing with the hazy trend. There's so much good beer out there, and so a lot of
there
times
really is.
people miss out on it, and so especially coming into the tap room, we maybe not the most kind way to put it, but I call it the "fuck you, try this" moment, where it's like, don't tell me what you want. This is good.
Yeah.
Try it. You will enjoy it.
No, there's a sales aspect that has to happen, right? But also, I basically, I was out in, I was at Russian River down in California, and they had a couple. In the store, if you can find their stuff, they got some really nice options. But if you go there, they've got stuff that you can't even imagine. Basically, they can do whatever the fuck they want, essentially.
Yeah.
And so I grabbed something in that Pilsner range for Brenna, and then I grabbed their hazy option for myself. Brenna does not like what I would describe as beer. Right?
In general.
Yeah. Generally
Broad
speaking,
term.
what she says is that
which
she
might be
wants
identified
beer.
as.
She wants beer to taste like beer. Right? And so that means a certain type of profile, but
It's like I love Jenny Ice or Jenny Cream.
Yeah. But she gave basically this thing ended with me taking the Pilsner and her taking the hazy IPA, just because there was more going on in it. There was more interest for her, but it rested in some place like on the palate away from what she even thought IPAs were about. And so I suspect that is why you see like the rudder being pulled so hard. It's because there's a lot of people for whom hazy is going to work, that an IPA isn't going to work. And I suspect there may be a little bit of that in that brute space as well. It's just another approach, tends to be less bitter, at least the ones that I've seen.
Yeah, definitely.
Different kind of finish, more champagne-y almost.
Yes, ultra dry.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, as you're saying to the hazy IPA, I think it just has more breadth to people that are looking for something a little bit softer or fruitier and not quite as bitter. So there's a lot of people that drink really light beer, go for the Pilsners or American lagers,
sure.
and hazy IPA is like that next beer that they like.
Well, yeah, it's like an on-ramp.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually they'll become true hop fetishists.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, IPAs were the original on-ramp for a good portion of people that were breaking away from, okay, I'm just drinking Coors, and because they found, okay, I can drink an IPA and I like it.
Yeah.
But now the hazy is becoming a new avenue for people that...
very, very easy to drink.
Yeah.
In terms of the experience on the palate, because so much of tasting is aroma, and aroma is associated with memory.
Sure. And it smells like a goddamn Starburst.
Yeah, it's
Who's
like-
going to argue with it? Right?
The baseline that I usually describe for hazy IPAs is, Pog, the pineapple orange
Exactly.
guava. It's that. And
Yeah.
so
Stone fruit.
a lot of people have grown up with that flavor around breakfast, that orange juice, pineapple juice. And so there
Like
is
olfactory thing.
Yeah, exactly. There is this automatic, that's familiar and that is pleasant. I associate that with good memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it automatically highlights all the good spots in your brain.
And now it's going to be associated with foggy mememories. It's great.
Yeah. It's a classic
Good
combo.
ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first time I'd ever had anything, what they called me now, of course we call them hazies, but there was a period where it was like a Northeast IPA,
Yeah.
right? Before we had gotten codified. And then there was a period of time there where they were also playing around with it was still cloudy, but they were playing around with the florals as opposed to the stone fruits.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting diversion, although I suspect at some level that may be gone. I mean, I think they found the thing. They found the human button that works, and it's this
I think
juice.
maybe that's what you're referencing maybe is where they played with the Belgian or the white IPA.
Yeah.
Like bringing up those floral notes and kind of that was a flash in the pan.
Yeah, it really
Decent
was.
idea, but not exactly what we wanted to go for.
No, and it is really good, but it's like you have to be okay. People want new things, but they want new things to exist within a range of acceptability. And I think that this is sort of like, imagine if drinking your grandmother's perfume was a good thing to do. And but I mean it, like it's actually really good and interesting, but it is definitely a gardenia sort of thing, and maybe drinking, maybe drinking perfume is not universal. Right?
I feel like this is perfect because we literally
that's the Sun Chaser.
Sun
right?
Chaser is we did with hibiscus in it.
Oh yeah, so it's going to have a really sharp that rose hip type tea thing.
Yeah, well,
Hibiscus and orange peel.
Yeah.
this was the one we had Saturday night.
Was it? I don't think so.
No?
No, that was a different one.
Okay.
That was a different one.
Okay.
I promise it was a different one.
But it's been fun to lean into that trend. These like the Praxis that exists as part of a series that we release almost exclusively out of our tap room. It goes out to a couple key bottle shops.
Yeah.
But pretty much every month we do something like that. And they're usually in the hazy range, but it's also really fun with Sun Chaser was this experience of like, okay, let's sort of go back to the basics, but still innovate in that space. Let's go back to a little bit more traditional IPA.
So who pulled the trigger on Sun Chaser with the hibiscus and orange peel?
That's these men.
Jessup.
Yeah.
What made you go that route? I mean, that's like tincture materials.
Right. Well, hibiscus I'd never used before, and the rosé market is pretty heavily.
The rosé IPA that you guys did, I thought was really good.
Yeah.
That was a special can, and I assume
red,
that it's because it's so fast now. It's just is that just gone? Like,
Literally every month it's different, and it's here and it's gone.
well, it's the same. It was the same tall can with the different with the different label process, right?
Right.
Okay.
The next one that we're coming out with comes out on the 9th. It's called Party Line. Imagine if Nickelodeon made
The label. Nickelodeon's hazy.
Oh, it's pretty box.
It's slimed if you say it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I think the Tipsy Toboggan is really, really good.
Oh, yeah. Me and roast. So.
Well, no,
Yeah.
I know how you feel about the bee. It's just like, but for me, it's so funny. Like as the hazy has taken over, like I have moved down to this. This is why I know it wasn't the Sun Chaser. It's because I moved us into the pale.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep.
I have sought out other beer like classes that I wouldn't have, like, because so much of the thing is hazy, like whatever's the small thing I want. And a few months ago hazy was the small thing.
Yeah.
And so I was looking somewhere else, but it's like I've never been into like regular pales and like classic American stuff. Like IPA is really my fixation. And I've actually been exploring the rest of the range. So just having something that has roast character is so nice. Like I'm not sure I've had anything like that in my house for a while.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate it. I'm super curious about the double wheat though. So that seems like a lot of structure behind the haze.
I was gonna say
Definitely.
we can jump into that, but it's pretty big and pretty bready.
Yeah.
So if
It's kind of a depalatizer.
it might blow you up.
Something like
little
a
bit.
paint stripper.
Yeah, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Oh, Jeff, you want this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just dig in, man.
Yeah, dude, this is.
None of this out front.
Well, here, bring this.
Well, wait, hey, bring us a maple.
They have my name on it. I can't.
On-air bartering.
That's good.
And so, but the reason I say that is because last time we tried Other Coast and Wonderland Trail, and those are both excellent. Those are both really good.
Yeah, no need to dive into those. I
haven't
wanted
had-
to bring them sort of as context if we
for
wanted
sure.
to go.
But you haven't had the Praxis, right?
No, I have
Oh,
not.
I have.
have
It's
not.
great.
So let's arrive there in a moment. So, Alex and Jesse, has Dan explained to you precisely what you've gotten yourself involved in here?
I think he told us just enough to get us here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
Well.
want to drink beer at noon on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's like, yep.
Okay. So listen.
That's how we got this show started. It's like, how do we drink during the day and make it acceptable?
This is what Dan has done to you. Okay.
What Dan hath wrought.
So indeed. What have these Dans wrought? So it's like, so Acquisitions Intoxicated is itself a kind of spin-off of Acquisitions Incorporated, right? So Acquisitions Incorporated. Dan, would you like to address the room?
Jesse. Mo Ugly just said, "Is it just me or does the guy in blue have judgmental eyebrows?"
Just like the resting state. There's a lot of pressure.
You're not wrong.
That brought me so much joy. That's how you defray questions from the sales team in the middle of a day. You just sorry.
No. Please take full advantage. You're guests in this house. So, Acquisitions Incorporated is essentially like it's like a multi-level management scheme, but in D&D. So imagine an adventuring company organization that has like a company store where you basically get like a license to adventure under that brand, and then you take jobs. So it's basically like doing D&D sort of as a job, but it's like functionally speaking, an office comedy that takes place in a dungeon. So that's the background. So in that, I am the CEO of this imaginary business that has as its task regular adventurer type shit. Acquisitions Intoxicated is basically where I just want to make sure you can leave
We
it.
can still get out.
Yeah.
You can leave it any time.
We're going to give you safe exits through this entire show.
At any time, you can reach beneath your chair, just like in the F-14
Pull the ripcord.
and then yank both rings. No, so functionally speaking, what we've been doing here, and it's how long is it? It's more than a year and a half.
More than a year and a half now.
Yeah, a couple more months now, and it'll be 2 years.
I was going to say come up on 2
right?
years, I think.
So
Really?
Yeah, but essentially our task is to try to take things inside the game, inside the fantasy concept of Dungeons and Dragons, or inside the goofy like D&D company thing that we've done. Take those ideas and turn them into real beers and drinks. So for our purpose, the beer is going to be connected to a specific ritual, or it would be like a beer version of a potion, or it'll be based. It'll be based on a character or an event that people love in the game. So, are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure that everything is good. I felt judged.
If I have to.
I felt judged by the eyebrows.
At least one eyebrow is judging. The other one's still on the edge.
Exactly. But that's basically the context that we get to play around in, and we do that with the channel every week, and it's a blast.
Man.
Yeah, no, it's good time. So I'm going to grab a couple of these tall ones here on the Praxis.
Yeah.
We're going to put that in here, and then what we're going to commit ourselves to wholeheartedly is coming up with the theme. So it's not about ingredients yet. It's just about the theme. And then what we'll do is we'll try to figure out how we can express that in what you do. So, I don't know. I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Oh, that's a fucking whacked out color.
Yeah.
That's the Sun Chaser.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
I was a little bit of a get the roast out of the glass before we dive into
You're making a good case there. We can use this beer as a rinse for our bodies.
to amuse your boosh. Yeah.
All right. Hibiscus. You can smell the hibiscus right off the top.
Yeah. Hibiscus and orange peel.
Yeah. It smells like a Flintstones vitamin, but not in a bad way.
Yep.
Yep.
Did that occur to you also?
After the fact, yeah.
Is it the minerals? What is it?
Yeah, that's the hibiscus coming through. And that was actually kind of a funky one because hibiscus and orange peel add their own bitterness. And there's no real chart out there that I could find telling you how much bitterness this is going to add.
IBUs for
IBUs,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like for hops, it's alphas. Like that's all like mathematically established. But if you're talking about hibiscus and orange peel, you're that's new territory, right?
Definitely.
And it's a different kind of bitterness. It kind of lingers on the back a little bit. And so to level it out was pretty tricky. It was actually just kind of rolling the dice and seeing what would stick.
Honestly, I have to be honest, I like the toboggan.
A bit more?
The mix? You like the mix?
I like the toboggan mix.
It's the chocolate orange.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's
Peel way right?
is that. Do you ever work with blends at all at Two Beers?
Yeah. So we'll mess around on the taps a little bit, especially with cider and beer. We'll do our own snake bites.
Oh, nice.
Our winter seasonal that preceded this was called First to the Top, and that was quite literally a chocolate orange milk stout because we wanted to do that. Yeah.
Is it good?
It was real
good.
good.
Yep.
But you can't go back because that's not how the industry is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Can't walk backwards on it.
No, this is going to work. If this stuff is still rolling at Two Beers when we get there, I might have to play around with it just a little bit.
Mix it up, and
they're both interesting. Like it's not sharp like hop tartness. Like it's the tartness or the bitterness that comes from the peel and the hibiscus is not on that chart. Like it sits lower, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
When Jesse, you experimented a little bit ago of doing a beer where all of the bitterness was derived just from bitter orange peel.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah, I
interesting.
didn't add hops to any of the hot side.
Yeah.
So it was all bitter orange peel that I added.
Really?
That's wild.
It took about a month and a half for it to mellow out.
Oh yeah, it'd be mean as hell up front. Right?
It came in pretty strong.
Came
It's
in
like
hot.
oranges.
No, it's real. It's like the Gugon.
Yeah.
Here, so we have our engineer set us up with a cool question and answer device here. So let's grind through a few of these before we get into the system proper. So, Int live show at Unplugged. Man, that would be the
dream.
place. That would be the place. I mean, Unplugged is sort of our board game show, so it has a pretty strong tabletop D&D representation. That might be a super nice.
Well, and
find a
this,
Philly brewery.
This
Exactly.
was the event that the crew
No way.
put on for us. All of some of the people here, the St. Brian, Cruz, that was the Acquisitions Intoxicated and Courtier meetup.
Unreal.
Can we throw that up on the
Terminal
screen?
Market.
Yeah.
You have the picture up?
Yeah.
I mean, people might like to see. Yeah, I mean that's how the fuck we get down.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. You can see our friend. I can see Christian down there.
Yep.
He is our friend from Deutschland.
Well, Thomas as well,
Yeah.
screaming over your head.
Yeah. Yep. And so we went from here to the hotel room, and then played Warhammer 40,000 until 3 o'clock in the morning. It was it was an authentically superior evening.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. Hey, so MT Heads wants to know if you guys do any sours. I haven't seen any on store.
Yeah, it's on our radar. Souring is, for
It's
a
a
brewery
thing.
especially, it's definitely a thing, but it's also quite a process.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
and so
well,
you're-
and controls and
Yes.
sterilization is the other
So
thing,
there,
right?
you're different types of souring too. Like if you pitch sour bacteria into your tanks, it's sour forever. So
Well,
that's
no,
something that
exactly.
you don't want to delve into.
Well-
whereas kettle souring, you can avoid that.
Well, we had New Belgium was here in the studio with us, and they were talking about God only knows how you are supposed to pronounce it, but they pronounced it something like fooder.
Yeah, fooders.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys know that's a real term. Okay.
Yes.
And so they were talking about that, but it's like you don't even have to inoculate that stuff anymore. It just the fooder handles it. Like
Yes.
it is an ecosystem
Absolutely.
that controls and manages itself, and you just put the stuff in, right?
Yeah. And truly just having it in the same room, like it's in the air, so you're worried about cross contamination on parts.
It's dangerous. Well, I told this story before. So we spend a lot of time up at Lucky Envelope, which is just marvelous, right? And they had a big keg out in the middle of the floor there. That was it was Brett. It was like a Brett fermentation, and they had big signs all around it. Like to warn you, like they had a warhead or something in the back. Like it's like,
don't
do not
mess
fuck
with
with
this.
this. Wash
Yeah.
your fucking hands.
For our
You're
seventh
gonna destroy our brewery.
anniversary, we did a soured blonde that we co-fermented. There was Brett in there,
Yeah.
and then some lactobacillus. But we did it in wine barrels, literally in it.
external.
We rented another storage unit in the building that our brewery's in to ferment it there.
Well, yeah, that's the level of concern, right? We're talking about.
Well, and I brought a bottle of it. There's a winery next to us. I brought a bottle of it as a gift to the winemaker over there, and I said, "Hey, here's a bottle." And he's sitting there and he's looking at the label. He's like, "This has Brettanomyces in it." And I was like, "Yeah." And he says, "Get the fuck out." Set it on the curb by my Jeep. I'll drink it at home.
Yeah.
But it was literally like, don't even bring a bottle of it
'cause,
into.
I mean, I inferred all of this from the size of the sign they put on that keg.
yeah.
But I didn't know that it was like literally at this level.
Yeah.
Because I mean, essentially, brewing is establishing the parameters of a kind of like microbial battleground, and you want to pick who wins, right?
Yep.
You want to be able to choose. If you can't choose the winner, then you are no longer a brewery, right?
Not a consistent one.
No. So yeah, I want to get a hold of this Praxis real quick, and then we'll jump in.
Help
We
yourself.
did on the kettle souring end. We actually did a kettle soured version
that's
of
nice.
Wonderland
Really
Trail.
nice nose.
Oh, really?
Really?
A little, yeah. We did a kettle soured IPA, and it went really, really well. But the tricky thing is to allow the bacteria to develop. A kettle sour is where you add the bacteria directly into the kettle. Let it ferment for a while, and then you turn the kettle on and just incinerate all of it. You get the temperature up to a point where it kills all the bacteria. So it's you allow it to exist, but
mix.
in a very
In a very thin band.
yes, in a very controlled environment.
Here. So I'm gonna put this up here. I know that you guys
worst
have a
pour
camera
ever.
on
No,
the
it's
front.
good.
If you have the close-up camera, Josh, I just want people to see
It just eats light.
Look at this. Look at the color of this. It's like you wouldn't. This is not the first thing you'd think of when you saw the can, obviously, but that is really lovely, Alex. Like that's actually genuinely nice. And the aroma on it is actually really mild from what I expected.
That's great.
Good Lord. See, I like that. It probably has to do with the fact that it's a double IPA. So, I mean, there's a certain threshold. Like IPAs or hazy IPAs tend to be a little more on the lower ABV, at least in my experience.
Yeah.
I think that a little more, like a little higher alcohol content actually helps balance some of that stuff out. Because it can get cloying. I mean, that's the truth,
Definitely.
right?
Yeah, I
you see
think-
that a lot.
And I've seen some breweries from all around the country, but especially on the West Coast, trying to like branch out and do. We're doing a West Coast hazy.
What? It doesn't even make any fucking sense. Like, that's not a term.
They're opposites, but I think what they're trying to achieve is more balance through either bitterness or the alcohol content, like you're referencing to make it that smooth, juicy character that you get out of a hazy, but also giving you that bite at the end.
No, that's actually, I think you've threaded the needle on that. That's pretty good. It's like the mango passion fruit IPA that you guys do, where the flavors are there of the fruit, but they're echoed in the hop
Yeah.
build, and so they don't feel like they're guests. Like it feels like one beer.
Definitely.
Right. Sometimes people can get excited about additions, blah, as we know, right? And we don't like that. So, Disco King wants to know when the next Ack Int brew is going to be ready for the show.
3 weeks. 2
3
weeks.
weeks?
'Cause
We gotta-
next week we're doing the mead with Holly.
Exactly.
And the show after that will have.
No, so that mead has actually been underground. I mean, that's got to be at least a year now, right? So basically, like some of the things we can show, like you can see our Pico brew back there. What do you guys use as a pilot system at?
We actually have Joel's original 5-gallon system.
The old 5-gallon home system.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so when you want to test when you want to test something for the brewery, it actually uses the old equipment.
For right now, yeah.
Yep.
We're moving up to a 1-barrel system here shortly, but yeah, that's what we use for now.
Have you ever messed around with Brewy or any of the other sort of like brewing appliances?
I haven't.
Is it no? Tell me why. Is it because you think that they are immoral?
No. I just don't think you have enough control.
Some do. Yeah, exactly. So you like the fully analog,
Yep.
traditional system. Like that's what you learned on. That's what you trust.
Right.
I mean, obviously the results are speak for
Well,
themselves.
and our brew house has 40 different handles that you have to open and close, 2 pumps that you have to manually turn on. Big breweries, they just punch a button and it's dropping hops in for them. Yeah. And
so do you think that is dissimilar from real brewing?
no.
No.
Yes, but no. I mean, when you're at that level, it's the same thing every time. As long as you're consistent
Right.
and you're getting that consistency and you've got the recipe and everything made up the right way, it's going to be the same thing every time.
Sure.
The difference between industrial production
absolutely.
and even if you're doing something nice and hoppy, it doesn't necessarily have to be an industrial.
At a certain point of growth too, if you're shipping out to 30 states,
Yeah, you can't be.
you can't do it completely manually.
Yeah, time-wise,
Yeah,
it wouldn't
you don't-
allow
there's
for
not
that.
enough hours in the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So you exist in a space where you get to do it the way that you want,
Yes.
which is kind of nice.
We were actually just talking about this on the way over because our brew house is a 15-barrel brew house, which for breweries our size by no means is a particularly large brew house.
No.
It's actually a bit smaller. But we just got a set of 5-barrel tanks,
Oh, great.
and now we have a set of 1-barrel tanks. And so sort of the resolution of the brewery is able to get a little bit finer. That we can risk at a much smaller scale. We can innovate and get weird with really small batches of beer that don't have to be scalable. Like, we were joking that the nickname...
You don't have to try at all.
Right.
The nickname for this beer was going to be not scalable because at 6 pounds of hops per barrel,
exactly.
Our bookkeeper, our financial controller would look at us and go, "No, stop it! You can't." Like, but it doesn't make sense.
But if you roll it, out on the canning line one time, you still get to play around with it, right?
Yeah.
Which is nice. Hey, so Inaugural wants to know, why does it seem like IPAs saturate 90% of the craft brewing market? Now, obviously, Eric and I talk about this all the time, but if we've got 3 pros in the fucking house, like, I would love it if you could please expose these creatures to your wisdom.
I think there's a few different levels to this. Everyone drinks coffee in the morning, right? And it depends on if you're putting creamer in. If you drink your coffee black, you're more likely to drink an IPA. That's my opinion.
Just basically you're calibrated at a certain level of bitterness.
Also, with an IPA, you kind of know what you're getting when you walk up to the table. You walk up to a bar, and, what do you got for IPAs? Okay, what is a Schwartz beer?
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people there's a lot of different styles out there that are really good. Yeah. But, IPA, I know what that is. I know what it should taste about like.
I see. Oh, so essentially the market category is also like it helps the person who is buying a beer. Like, and the truth is that they can get really nasty surprises, right? They can have bad experiences taking chances. Like, of course, we all want to do that, right? We want to experience the whole range. Like, I get better at tasting things anywhere I tune myself along that range, right? But this is also a glass full of a liquid a person is ostensibly going to drink. And they may not, it's like, I have had sours on here, on this show, that have torn me apart.
I showed Jesse the clip of you folding inside out a couple episodes ago.
It's fractal. I get psychologically, I have been shredded by some of the fluids I've been exposed to on this show, and that's fine. But I still do it. I still fucking drink the whole thing, and then I commit to it, and then I drink the rest of it, even though there's no good reason, because it's legitimately bad to me, right?
Right.
But that's a fetish. Nobody else, I don't expect anybody to do that, right? That's just a weird thing to do.
But I think that degree of sensory exploration is still, to bring it full circle, I think that's one reason why people will keep going back to IPAs, because if you're sitting at a bar and you're drinking Pilsners, if you're drinking a light lager, by the end of the second pint, you don't know what that tastes like. You have forgotten what that beer tastes like.
Oh, I hadn't even considered that.
It's sort of like when you stare at a shape on a white background, it'll sort of burn, you get burn in with it. But with IPAs, they exist at a scale where it's still interesting at the bottom of your second pint and your third pint. The volume's loud enough that it shouts above your body trying to compensate against it.
Oh yeah, it's a complex. So basically, the IPA is a complex opponent for the crop, for the human crop. Ixaka 1287 wants to know if there's any chance to get 2 beers on tap for people outside of Washington State.
Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Alaska.
Alaska?
Yep. We stay pretty much in the upper left with the brewery. On our shirts it says, drink local beer. It is a big thing for us to drink local beer.
Oh, so that's where you want to be.
It's really hard to go to Chicago or Philadelphia and be like drink local beer and also beer from Seattle.
It's local to Seattle.
And also, when you send beer further afield and it's unfamiliar to someone, it sits on the shelf longer. And someone's interaction with your brand is pretty suboptimal. It's not super great because it might have been there for...
If the can literally has dust on it, it does not appeal.
Yeah.
It's not a part of the process. Okay, so is 2 beers a reference to Twin Peaks?
No. I wish we would have thought of that. 2 beers came from a conversation that our founder had with his best friend, where he was
Is this the slogan?
Yeah, he was going into another business endeavor and it wasn't working out. And his friend told him, "You should go start a brewery. That sounds like what you want to do." And He looked at me. They were having dinner and drinks, and he's like, "Wow, I guess life gets a little more honest after 2 beers, huh?"
So now that's on the boxes.
Yep.
And the bottles.
Beer is social lubricant.
Yeah. Hey, no, Disco King also wants to know if bottles are best for long-term cellaring.
Anything over 9% is good for long-term cellaring, whether it's in a can or a bottle.
Oh, it's just about the ABV. A certain
Yep. Anything that is hoppy, the hops will break down and drop out
They
after
would. Yeah, exactly.
90 days about.
Yeah, that's safe. You don't want to drink an IPA that's 3 months old. It's not going to be the same beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, we had some authentically, like, was it Doomgate Dark Wine?
Oh yeah.
Was that? So
That was the barley wine.
We did a barley wine on here, and of course it had to sleep
Oh yeah.
for a good long time.
God, what was that? 8 months or 6 months? 8 months?
Yeah, but it was mean as hell.
Yeah.
But
Well, you'll look at like all the triple IPAs that people put out in the last month because Pliny the Younger is coming out, so everyone's trying to cash in on that.
Get it.
Yeah, so 2-3 months from now, that's going to start aging and turning into a hoppy barley wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, does it after a certain period of time?
We actually just cracked a keg recently of a triple IPA that we did called the Ascension. And it was 18%, I think, when it came out. Yeah, it wanted to fight you. But it
usually wins.
Yeah, very quickly. But yeah, at this point, it is a barley wine. One of our bar staff dubbed it a burley wine.
No, for real.
Yeah.
I'm into this branding. I support you 100%. All right, so now that we have figured out a lot of topics, let's figure out what type of potable artifact we want to manufacture. And it's key to identify, right, as we're working on this, that this is one of the 3 beers that's going to be available at the event that we do at Two Beers.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
So when I went down and talked to Jesse, we might want to do this just a little bit backwards than normal.
Yeah.
We sat there and we said, okay, well, what haven't we done, right? And I'm like, well, we don't do a lot of IPAs.
True.
At all, because we wanted to stay, as we discussed, we wanted to stay away from that platform, because that's all we would do if given the chance.
Yeah, we have a problem, but we know.
Yeah, the first step is admitting to it, right?
Yeah.
So, but what we talked about were 2 different beers that we could do, and this would be for the channel to vote on. One would be an IPA where we just used a ton of different hops. We've never done a 3-hop IPA yet.
No. True.
And it could be a double, imperial.
Exactly, but if we were trying to pull that type of horse shit, like, it would be nice to have some guardrails around us for that type of stuff,
and
right?
the other version, we could do a smash. We've never done a smash.
But a smash, the only reason, so tell them what a smash is, first of all.
Smash is single grain, single hop.
Yeah.
Single malt, yeah.
That's the thing, right? The only thing about the only thing about the smash, that doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong play, but for our praxis, for lack of a better term,
you're not getting a lot of choices.
I got you. No, for our system, functionally, there's not a lot of variables there, and so it may not be as fun to mess around with. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't offer it to them, right? Because a smash, I would say, is a uniquely qualified beverage, especially for a tasting.
Right.
Particularly when there are people who are coming and they wanna be a part of the event and they want to hang out with their friends from the channel, but they also want to learn a particular thing. What I like about Smash in general is that it offers a really, really unique opportunity for calibration.
Yeah.
So because there's a malt and a hop, we can learn off of that sort of calibration coordinate, right?
Yeah.
It's like a nice base setting. It's like, okay, well, this is what this does, and this is what this does.
Yeah, and we all have our favorite hops
And we
that
can
we
only
can
grow.
go through.
And we can only
our
grow
favorite
from there,
malts,
right?
that, what's going to be the base malt that we're throwing in.
So let's
I would say
let's start with style.
start with style, and then we'll figure out how do we relate it to the Act Inc. universe.
And this was part of the conversation that we had when you came down, Eric, was that even within, we talked about hazy IPAs and West Coast IPAs, now we're talking about smash IPAs, that even within that style, you ask why IPAs are so popular.
Yeah.
That style is so broad.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's so much that can exist inside that envelope.
Yeah.
And so limiting ourselves to an IPA still affords this enormous breadth of what you can do.
Yeah, for sure. And so this is the other thing that you should know, newcomers to Acquisitions Intoxicated. So we actually have a polling mechanism that people can throw their votes into, essentially.
Cool.
And so Jesse is very far away. Alex, you and I can look at the data in real time. He doesn't have that opportunity.
Yeah, well,
This gives you an advantage over
we can drink in real time.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, that's definitely true. But I do think, like, specifically around this, specifically for the event, there is an argument to be made for the smash.
It's looking that way.
Yeah.
That's what they're into.
Oh, a
But,
Scotch ale for Jeff. Yeah.
oh, don't you worry about Jeff. Jeff's fine.
Jeff got his sight.
Yeah, Jeff's done. Jeff is, yeah.
A
He's-
special B smash. Oh, that would be. No.
No.
Listen, I love Special B, but I don't know if I love it that much.
Understand it. And so the reason everyone is, I just want to make sure everyone understands why these professionals are laughing.
Yeah.
They're laughing because Special B is a specialty grain
Yeah.
that you add to inflect a beer.
Yeah.
If you were to try to make a full build
Ooh.
for Special B, it's in the same way like a Rausch beer
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Like you're
Even a Rausch beer isn't a single malt. beer.
exactly.
You're putting
committing
15% at
exactly.
most of
you
that
are
smoky
committing
malt, right?
violence at a certain point around the craw. Yeah, see, why cross like, but what would it taste like? Yeah, it tastes like a lot.
It would taste like it's coming out of the bottle with a pistol. And,
Yeah.
When just
It tastes
undrinkably
like
sweet.
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah, black malt smash. Barry, goodness gracious.
Stain your teeth.
But Barry and Timber, so we have a lot of people in the channel that are home brewers and have a lot of expertise as well. So I have every faith that Barry and Timber knows precisely what type of joke they're making. with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But the truth is, too, is that we've had really, really
Golden
good
promise.
results. We've had really good results
Need some golden
on the show with some of the Washington,
Yeah,
some of the
the
really,
Copeland.
really great Washington wheats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back.
What was it? It was the Copeland two-row. I think that was really, really good.
It was just way, way better than like the 2-row, with no
Sweeter.
name attached to it. Like it was a jump up for real.
We're doing Great Western, right, for pretty much all of our
Yep.
all of
For
our
the most
stuff.
part. Some of the specialties come from
Yeah.
various companies.
Yeah,
obviously.
so brewery.
Yeah, like the raw or
Yeah.
the brie
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is connected to your local
Yep.
ethos.
Yep.
Oh, Skagit Valley was the
Yeah.
the one that was.
Yes. Yes, it was. But you could, right out of the grain bag, you could taste that it was something special.
When we had looked at them, but just at our scale,
For sure.
it's really, really expensive.
Yeah,
It would
absolutely.
essentially double the price on
Yeah.
most
Oh,
of the
no,
others.
no. Yeah, we operate, it's like you have the canning run and you can do that smaller thing.
Yep.
And that's, in your industry, like that type of thing, being able to execute at that thing is already pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like this is straight up weirdo
Yeah.
beer fetish stuff. I mean, we do whatever we want. We do whatever they fucking tell us to
Yeah.
do. So they want this smash, and I can understand why. Because they want an opportunity to drill way, way down into single items, right? All right.
What does mosaic taste like? What does cashmere taste
Oh,
like?
for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
I haven't even upgraded.
So,
to a
so Jesse, when you are building a recipe, do you use Beersmith at your tier, or
I do.
do you
Yeah.
do you use Beersmith 3?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, see, I just haven't upgraded. I'm being.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like pulling teeth at me, and I don't know why.
If
it works.
I can.
I know,
I can
but-
get by with what I have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. Should we say specialty or just a regular American?
I think the specialty just lets the
Yeah, it just
original
lets it-
gravity range go a little higher.
Yeah. So let's hit the Pico.
You grabbed a Belgian.
Well, we're making it a Belgian IPA. Sorry, guys.
All right, now, is there anything else in those two Praxis cans?
I batted.
Can I have more?
There are 6 more Praxis cans.
Yeah.
Praxi?
Praxis.
It'll sneak up on you too, though.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
it'll
No,
punch you right in the back of the
It's
head.
already, no,
So
it's already,
good.
yeah. I'm already in incredible danger. I mean,
Yeah.
I sense that at a low level.
Most of what we brought was just for general consumption.
Empties.
Oh, Jack Lemmon wants the empty cans.
Yeah,
And I appreciate that. He doesn't want us to look like
Yeah.
drunkards. So,
That's what you're. That's how you're gauging the look
Yeah.
of drunken.
no, I do have a question, though. So, at work,
Yeah.
if you work at a brewery,
Which I do.
You know where this is going.
which you do, like, I mean, is your boss, if you drink at work, is your boss mad?
No.
I mean,
Well, I mean, it's different when you're like drinking throughout the whole day, right?
Right.
One would think.
Yeah, but drinking is an extremely important part of the process.
It
and
seems like it would
knowing
be, right?
what it should taste like at what points of fermentation.
like-
And so you can know if things are
Samples.
going awry.
Yeah. And
But
they
then it's like, God damn it, Jesse fell on the hop back again.
yeah, exactly. And it's swirling.
Yeah.
He's getting a ride.
Yeah. When you get to go through and taste all the barrels before they get blended,
Oh.
that's a day where you take an Uber to work.
Right?
But there is a degree to which where you are trying stuff like we will do our quality control and quality assurance panels,
totally.
and you actually have to do those. You want to do those first thing in the morning, and you're not supposed to have coffee or anything
Oh, no,
fatty.
you don't want to mess with the apparatus at all.
And so there is a lot of consumption of alcohol where it is solely analytical.
Right.
It's
Right.
organoleptic analysis.
For sure.
Is it the wine tasting of, or just no? We're
Both and.
I always swallow, but just
Yeah.
because like when you spit it out, you don't get the back of your tongue.
No.
totally.
Which is where a lot of it, especially like, just look at Sun Chaser.
Yeah.
Like a lot of where its bitterness sits is not front of the mouth.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that we know that it's a smash,
Yep.
functionally speaking, like for our friends at home, there is only one grain in there,
Yep.
Yeah.
right? And so
let's first also talk about where we're going with it.
exactly. So let's try to figure out the theme.
Yeah.
But I just want to make sure they understood the back end of this is very, very basic, which honestly works fine for a medieval context.
Yeah.
It works exactly right. So where do we want to go as a story with this thing? Because this is something that we can all get in on, right? Like we can put this together, jump in there. The fundamental court.
Ooh,
Okay, here. So
that is go into
so the
this.
fundamental court. So I suspect. I'm just going to try to explain it. Dan is laughing, but that's because Dan and I are kindred spirits. Insofar as I think that other people endure us, and we appreciate that about them. But we're not confused about who we are. We know who it is, and we're fine with it. We've made peace. Our mamas like us.
Mama
Right?
loves me.
Exactly, right? And so the fundamental court is basically, there was a period of time where the characters in the campaign that we run here on this very table they were basically in a position to petition the fundamental physical laws of the universe and get changes, and basically like petition it like you would any other legal body.
Contest a parking ticket.
Exactly, but like
But walk time backwards.
with the building blocks of nature.
Yeah.
at a cosmic scale. So the fundamental court, especially because it's so simple, that would be a really interesting theme, I think, for a beer.
Yep. The fundamental wart. Fucking
That's a criminal enterprise, and
Haggis?
you know it. Single class build. Here.
Oh, that's good. That's a good. Yeah, single. Yeah.
No, so I like that. I think that the fundamental court would be a great theme. Let's give them something else.
Min max. Yeah.
Yeah, min-max works.
Ooh, that's fun.
Min-max
That's fun.
totally works.
Yep.
What does it do and what does it not do?
Exactly.
Because that is the one restriction. That's why you don't see a lot of smash beers out on the market.
Yeah.
In the same, they're a little particular. They tend to not either have a head or a chest. Like they're
that's
sort
true.
of
You're not-
missing a
No,
piece.
they do one thing.
Yeah.
True neutral. Okay.
True neutral, I like that. That's pretty smooth. Human fighter is like, oh my god.
Oh man. That's
I support you 100%. So here's our themes. And then of course the ritual that we have here always culminates in a naming process
Understanding.
at the end. Oh. I'm into it. I support you, Jack. The best part about the Jackal-man there, Jack, that's him.
Yeah.
So he is on his phone, I
Just
assume.
chumming the waters. Just redacted.
Yeah,
though.
exactly. A human fighter is exquisite.
Oh yeah.
There's still some of this, yeah.
I think I might steal a little bit of Sun Chaser so
Yeah.
that I don't end up on the floor.
Yeah, that's a great plan, Dan.
Solid strategy.
I like it. Yeah, it looks to me like human fighters jumping in.
Yeah.
Last bit.
Fighter.
But it's first of all, it's a great joke, right?
So-
I mean, that's the thing I want to support.
It is for D&D. It is sort of the first and easiest class. Jesse was able to play in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, training
Alex
wheels.
was not. No, but we did a D&D game literally in the middle of the cellar at the brewery.
Oh, nice! Surrounded by the
It's a
the
really
tanks,
cool
yeah.
feeling, right?
Yeah, it was pretty rad.
My buddy owns a distillery back in New York, and I ran a D&D game for him inside the distillery, right right next to the stills, and all the pots, and I'm like, this feels so damn cool.
This is a little green bar achievement unlocked.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can hear the plink, right? Yeah. Now, so let's figure
No empty heads. It's the Albany Distilling Co.
exactly. Yeah. So which malt represents a human and which hop represents a fighter? I love everything about
Are you
this.
kidding me? It's like a 2-row.
That's what we should
Cascade.
do.
Yeah, cascade. Yeah.
Let's get a little human variant. We'll do
Yeah.
Half elf. All right. No, a human fighter is the winner here.
Okay,
So
cool.
So let's jump in here with both feet. So when we say human, at least in D&D terms, it really sort of rests in the middle. It's like when you choose Mario in Mario Kart or whatever, or tennis. It's like Mario's purpose is to be that calibrator.
the control.
Pretty good at everything, right? But not amazing at anything, right? So let's try to figure out what we're looking for. Yeah, I mean, Golden Promise is a pretty classic wheat. So for the choices, Eric, why don't we let our guests jump
Absolutely.
in? We've got a couple of brewers here. Why don't you guys throw something out? So like I say, so human is basically like the top of the menu, first choice you would make, really standard options. It's what you know. It's a straightforward option. It's not bad by any means, but it is not immortal. You know what I mean?
Everything that you're saying says 2-row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
That's it.
I mean, at most 6-row, but 2-row is what we have. And I don't even know if anyone makes 6-row anymore.
Yeah, right.
It's hard to find, for sure. Going back to like homebrewing days and
Yeah,
stuff,
exactly.
I did a lot of smash beers actually to learn flavor profiles and stuff
totally.
like that.
For sure.
And pretty simply, 2-row, Pilsner, or Golden Promise are great options. If we want to add a little bit more color and depth, then Maris Otter is a great option.
Maris Otter for the single. That would be nice. So between 2-row and Maris Otter.
And I throw
there's some nice
Golden
choices.
Promise in just to be.
Yeah, exactly. Here's what I need. I'm gonna do it one at a time. Okay. So, you pros, hook me up. I mean, I know what I would type for these because we've been at it for a while. But if you were gonna give me adjectives for Golden Promise, what would they be? Like, how would I describe that to our crew?
Slightly sweet, a little bit bready.
Yeah.
Graham cracker.
Kind of
Yeah.
biscuity, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay.
Acidulated, smash with acidulated malt. You hate yourself.
You're a monster. You're a fiend. You belong in jail.
Good
All right,
Lord.
jail.
Oh.
You deserve to be dragged before the Hague. Now, Golden Promise. That's our first one. 2-row. How would you describe 2-row?
True neutral.
Yeah,
that is
it is
true
the
neutral.
baseline.
Yeah.
Clean,
So
crisp.
baseline, in terms of like finishing gravity, 2-row is going to finish a little bit higher, so our beer will be slightly sweeter. But depending on where we land in that like IPA pale ale range, that could be a good thing.
All right, so we got 2-row, Golden Promise, and then Maris Otter is sort of like the out there choice in this group, right? So hook me up here.
Definitely more biscuity.
Yeah, it's
definitely
way
got
more biscuit. It's going to impart a little bit more color and body.
That would definitely be a divergence from what we typically do.
Oh, out your way?
Yeah.
Okay, so these are, like I say, thanks, Jimmy. Yeah, we're doing great. So you need to understand,
Jimmy.
as brewers, you need to understand that one of Eric's other nicknames is Special B. Because he's always trying to put it in everything.
No, I just recommend it on a more frequent basis that relates to
100%
certain
of
beers.
the time.
Yeah,
You dip,
it's a good product.
you dip back in the same well.
Yeah.
Alex, it really is a dumb color, man. I understand that dumb in this context is a compliment.
I appreciate that.
No.
Like sick or bad, but like Michael Jackson bad.
Yeah.
There
But
you
like,
go.
like Michael Jackson bad, but like how he would utilize the term bad.
Yeah, that's something I think we try to strive for in our hazy IPAs with like the other coast and all these releases.
What's like a pineapple?
Yeah, there's a
pineapple
lot.
juice.
There's
Look, I mean,
even in just that light color range, there's a big range between the pale yellow and the,
Always be
the
Brandon,
bright
I
or
like
the
it.
brilliant yellows. And some just look more appealing than others.
oh man, I think it's really, really good.
Thank you.
I think the double wheat on the back end, and then like enough ABV to make it so that it's not, it isn't in your face with the haze.
This was really interesting. We talked a little bit about don't age double IPA or don't age IPAs, don't age hoppy stuff. But this was one of those beers that definitely, when it came out of the gate, it was everything was turned
Cranked.
up. Everything was
Yeah.
cranked, and
Right.
so and it was a really fun experience, if a little more esoteric. It was interesting, but it wasn't. All of the pieces weren't perfectly married together. And so it's been really, really fun with this beer to watch it, since there is a half-life to an IPA. It's going to develop a lot faster than, say, like an Imperial Stout or something like that. And so it's been really, really fun to watch Praxis go from being this beer with some spiky bits that were all really, really interesting to sort of smoothing out into this really coherent experience.
Now, Dan, so they said that you're in charge of the labels. Are you doing them? So you have design aspirations as well?
That is my full job.
Well, is that actually what your skill set is? And then you like fell ass backwards into this other thing?
I've been with the company for just over 9 years, and I've worn many, many hats sort of bouncing around in it. And for the majority of my time, I ran the tap room, I ran the woods. And when we launched Seattle Cider Company, I started taking on, because we had two different brand identities, I started taking on a little bit of internal, making posters, making event posts, stuff like that. And it's in the last year, I've transitioned entirely away from managing the tap room, just into design.
GG.
And so thanks. It's been fun. I get to do all of the labels for these small turn releases.
Oh, okay. So you're not responsible for like the top level brewing for Cider Company and
No, so we work with a company called DEI up on Capitol Hill, a design shop of some incredible ladies that did the brand identities for the brewery, the
And they just
cidery,
murdered it for you?
and the seltzer company.
Nice.
But it's
it's really good.
yeah, it's
like-
really good. But it's my job to then take those products, and if we come out with a new product, for example, we're coming out
to build
with
on
a-
that identity.
with a new IPA this summer called Field Day, which is a Citra IPA.
Oh, well, that's a great choice.
And so
Looks like we're going to be going down to Two Beers.
yeah.
it's my job to make sure that packaging is speaking the same visual language as everything else.
Interesting.
That's come before.
So once you got the labor from them initially,
Yep.
established sort of like the beachhead for the visual language. Now it's your job to iterate that
Yep.
for new
Yeah, and then I get to
That's
get
awesome.
weird with the tall cans.
Yeah, with the new stuff, right? Oh man, that's awesome.
Check out this poll now. Look
No,
at
they're
the
wrestling.
difference.
They're
Two-row and
wrestling.
Maris.
You know,
this is fascinating.
I'm gonna let them play
Yeah.
for a little
Duke
bit.
it out.
Yeah, but see, no, I'm just for a little bit longer.
I just love where the chat's gotten to in
Yeah.
their choices.
Well, no,
and
understand,
what they're choosing.
Yeah, understand. Like when we first started, there was extreme choices, right? It was like, and it never didn't work. Like it always worked. Like somehow we don't know why this is, but they are definitely in here wrestling between Two Row and Maris Otter, which to my mind is the right axis to wrestle on.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, maybe I don't know, in terms of, especially with a smash.
Yeah.
The question is, do we want it to be sort of a malt? Are we
Exactly.
emphasizing the malt, or are we emphasizing the hop?
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
like one of them wins, it's always going to be sort of a 60-40 split.
Absolutely.
Like
Yeah.
one will win.
The truth is, though, the Two Row brotherhood has definitely jumped ahead, and I get it. And this is why you can always figure out what the channel's thinking is, and it tends to be pretty sophisticated. They're leaning way into the basic human fighter, like the simplicity of it, right? And that's the right choice. But so we're going to go with the two row.
Then this is the human part. The fighter's going to come in when we figure out the hop.
Exactly right.
Like that's going to be.
Just like you said, Dan. I mean, basically, like, so what is it? So in this case, we have this. We know the two row is a classic bed for beer expression. We know that. It happens all the time. So the fighter is going to be the thing that jumps out, but we get to determine how far this fighter aspect goes. Right.
So I guess next, let's figure out where we want our ABV to be in this beer. So, traditionally between 5.5 and 7.5, but we can go where the wind takes us on this one.
So, brew experts, what do you think? What's an interesting range for a smash in here?
I mean, really all over the place, right? I think a 6.5% seems to be pretty happy middle of the road.
Totally.
Instead of having a 8% that you can have one and then like, okay, cool, I can't taste anything for a few hours.
Yeah. I think with the simplicity of a smash beer, having a sessionable, so to speak, even though that's a little bit high when you coin that term. But somewhere in between that, 5.5 to 6.5 range, I think is where you can get all the flavor off of it. But you're still
because I mean ultimately, the best case scenario here is that even the neophyte can enter into this beer arena and assess it, like understand what two row means in a beer.
Right.
And that's going to require that it not be a nuclear warhead.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think I really like this as, especially for a first live event that we're doing at Two Beers, like this is a really great entrance point. For people to get into a style and learn about beer.
Like always.
And learn about beer.
Yeah. They've made a really, really superior choice with the style, and I think that it's just being maintained here.
Yeah. Wow, head-to-head?
Yeah. Yep. It was head-to-head.
Never mind.
See, Alex and I, we know the real stuff.
Yeah.
We know that it's not actually head-to-head.
People have spoken.
Yeah, and we're just going to keep drinking over here and see what happens.
Exactly.
So this is also it. This is what cracks me up is we have a number of times tried to roll out a pale ale, and all of our recipes have been lights out, like to give a totally unbiased opinion. When in terms of like what people at the brewery, what we as a staff drink. We had one called Off Trail Pale, and it was universally the favorite within the company, but it doesn't sell.
Really?
Weird challenge.
I get it. Yeah, okay.
And I think this goes to Jesse's point about the ability to recognize IPA. I know what I'm getting into. I'm going to jump into that. And
pale exists in a range that is not definable in the classic sense. So every one of those variables, right?
Yeah, but also it's not as cool as saying I'm having a double IPA with Mosaic, Eldorado, and Galaxy hops put in, right?
For sure.
We haven't gotten to that point where people are out of the stunt and the high ABVs. We're slowly ripping them to the point of I want a sessionable beer, and we're getting there.
Yeah, like I say, I mean, the main thing that's happened to me with the rise of the hazy is like if I bring home hazy IPAs, I don't get to have all of it. What happens is that
I've got to bring home a second one, hide it.
Brenda has like a raccoon, and she gets in there, and it's like I know that my children aren't there. I know that they're not responsible for this.
But you should be happy. But this is the dream. You should be happy about.
No. The dream is being able to drink every beer I bring home
by yourself.
Yes. Ostensibly, the dream is not having other people drink it. You and I can drink it while we work on our great tasks.
All right, I retract. I now retract my previous statement.
Same deal. Now,
exactly. Okay,
gentlemen, they want 5.5, and I could not be more pleased.
Cool.
All right. Okay. So now that we have our ABV, we need to figure out our hop scenario, right?
Yeah. Where do we want to go with those IBUs?
Exactly. So the first thing we should do is IBUs, right?
Yeah. I think the first
option.
The first option essentially is which way are you taking your IPA or pale ale? Are we going more West Coast? Are we going more Northeast hazy style, and not even with the appearance, but with how the beer feels.
Exactly. So give me a IBU range, and then what you consider like. Give me a number for the IBUs, and then like if it's West Coast or East Coast, right?
Well, West Coast for a 5.5 beer, I would sit between like 35 and 45, probably.
All right. Where's your East Coast sit?
Way down. I'd say as low
I've had
as.
0 IBU IPA.
We made one a couple months ago.
We sent one to you guys.
Really good.
Yeah, I'd say as low as 10, maybe like 10 to 20.
I was gonna say if we did a Quebec smash.
Yeah, we just have to find someone with the yeast.
Yeah, with the yeast.
Yeah.
That could be real weird.
All right, here. So I'm gonna give them these 4 ranges, right? So they'll be able to find success anywhere in this range, in the lower West Coast, the higher West Coast. Obviously, IBU can go way higher than that.
Yeah.
But for our purpose, if we're still trying to devise a sort of palate compass for these ingredients, then they have to exist in these ranges, and they have to be something we can make sense of, right?
Right.
So interesting for picking a beer that's kind of right in the middle of the bell curve.
Yeah.
Seeing that same bell curve in the
Dude,
voting options,
I
like
was
it
gonna
really
say,
is.
like I can't even imagine what this is like for you guys, because we're really talking about like you don't get access to this type of real time data. I mean, it's pretty interesting shit.
Yeah. It's kind of a balance between what we want to make
Yeah.
and what we think our customers will like.
The truth is, right, is that they like the high end of West Coast and they like the high end of East Coast.
Yeah.
The truth is, East Coast just eclipsed West.
Yeah.
At least in
Wow,
here,
it's tight,
and perhaps
but-
in the real world.
Yeah.
But
I agree with that. I'm fine.
that's the situation here, right? 45 West and 20 East are wrastling in there.
Weird. That's
I get it though. I mean, those are the cheat, like the peak expressions of either of those.
Yeah.
20 feels good and 45 feels good.
This beer can't suck.
no.
And especially
Any way we go with this, we win.
especially if somebody's coming in from out of town.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely some curatorial selections being made here.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not going to touch this at all.
Holy
it's actually,
shit!
so close.
It is.
It's
dead.
Wow, it is. Yeah.
I'm just going to here while this is working, I'm just going to ask you guys a few questions while they figure out what they want to do.
It's literally back and this is.
F.R. Beckenbauer says, "Have you ever done anything with einkorn wheat?" I've never even heard this term.
Me neither.
No.
Einkorn
is that
is
a
Finkel.
farm or a
Finkel.
brand?
Right? Like,
I don't know.
I think Jesse's now your best.
Kinds of weed out
Crazy
there.
town. Finkel's the mayor.
Here. So, Eric, do we have any? Do we still have our smoked malt?
yeah, we do. We have
Okay.
a ton of smoke.
Yeah, Data Tech just wanted to know.
Yep.
When are we getting Pilsner in a can?
Wait, what's the username
Yeah,
on that
who is
one?
that?
Sladen.
Is that
Andrew, stop.
somebody
That's
at
one of
work.
our cider makers. So, talking about our pale ale being like the beers that we like as a company.
Yeah.
Not necessarily being marketed as a whole.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Our Pilsner, which Jesse and Alex have gotten dialed in this last year, our Pilchuck Pilsner.
It's strong.
It's banging. It's so good, but it's really hard to put a craft lager in a can and have you say, all right, I can spend 60% less and get Miller High Life, which I know and is wonderful, and I will.
I mean, it is optimized.
Yeah, exactly. Or I can support the local guy for $3 more in the 6-pack, and that's a really hard battle to win. But it has been a campaign within our staff, especially since we can do stuff like this, to just say,
Oh,
yeah,
fuck
let's
it,
do it
throw it in the
for
can.
to play out here in
Do
this
it once and be done.
hinterland.
Yeah.
Right.
But people like
people
IPA.
are calling for a runoff vote. Do you think we should do one?
Well, it's 39 to 35. I mean, I feel like the people have spoken on there. 45 is good. It's not crazy
Yeah.
by IPA terms by any means, but I feel like it's the right match. So now we need to figure out what type of hop we want to set in this jewel, right? So what do we think, boys? Like,
Craft lagers in a can is literally all I want.
yeah.
Tell your friends.
Now, so let's figure out this hop scenario, right? So we have our 2-row, which means that you can do literally anything that you want to, right? So is there a hop you feel like is not getting the love it deserves? Is there a hop you want to mess around with, and this is an opportunity to do so?
This is these guys. They've been fucking around
Exactly,
with some
right?
fun stuff.
So what do you think, Alex? Is there something novel out there you think might be a nice match? I mean, the truth is that they've created the preconditions for something great.
Absolutely.
So.
It's such a clean profile. You really can go any way.
Yeah.
Since we're going West Coast, I think personally
Yeah.
think that Chinook gets a bad rap into that really ultra piney flavor,
Yeah.
which it definitely has some. But there's ways to get around it with the additions where it brings out some really nice fruit character.
Pine, so pine and fruit
Yeah.
might be interesting.
So yeah, it's like more of a grapefruit or strong citrus.
Yeah.
Nice. So what do you got, man?
Well, I'm kind of biased in the way that I think Columbus is one of
Yeah.
those hops that's always just thrown in with
Oh,
others.
so you never, Columbus is used to like to bulk up a hop,
Exactly,
right?
yeah.
But
And
you think there's something virtuous about the Columbus
I think
itself?
so, and it gives off some pretty cool flavors if done.
So hook me up. I need those adjectives.
Oh, let's see. It's got some fruity notes. It's got some citrusy. It's got.
I was get a little green tea.
Yeah, a little green tea.
Like-
It has some like
grass on
earthiness
tannins?
to it.
like
for sure.
oolongy,
Yeah.
sort of jasmine-y.
Yeah.
Oh man, in a smash, that's the juice.
Yeah.
I mean, Praxis is Citra in Columbus.
Columbus.
Yeah.
exclusively.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
straight
really
up. So
the-
it's, yeah.
Oh yeah, so I get what you mean now. The back end of it has that almost astringent, like a mild astringent tannin type vibe.
If
right?
you put your tongue up under the hard palate, like you'll feel it sort of.
Right.
yeah, it's there.
Yep.
You
and
know
it's a
about
dual-purpose hop.
Right.
You know, it's
Yeah.
it's meant to be on both sides.
Yeah.
it.
And-
Which makes it great for smash.
Right.
Totally.
And like,
Totally.
I mean, we're talking fighter here, right? So
Yeah.
left and right arm.
There
we go.
Took right hook.
Yeah.
Very tasteful. Well, no, they're
Two-weapon fighting.
They're going, they're going nuts on this. I mean, this is like Columbus had 40 votes before
Yes.
Chinook had any.
Sorry,
so-
Alex.
Like I said, nobody likes Chinook.
Man, I tried. Give us some love.
Yeah.
You made your case.
You went for the underdog.
I wanted to see what Chinook would do, even though I had to say something, right?
Yeah.
One of the weirder things. Now, oolong is generally speaking of green tea. One of the weirder things about Smash is that a lot of the thought is given. I mean, the naming mechanism itself is really focused on the ingredients, but yeast determines a large amount of the flavor.
Dude,
like
so much.
That's not even in the term.
Yeah.
Like so we did Velvet Cape and Velvet Road.
Oh yeah.
That's the second beer I think we ever made on the show, and we made exactly the same build, but with like American ale, and then what was the?
Jesus, I got to go through the list of all of these recipes.
yeah.
Like, look at this. This is ridiculous.
No, we've got recipes for days,
Recipes for
boys.
fucking
If you want,
days.
yeah, we're ready to do this.
Did I see a
Deviant
beer
art style collabo
Tycho
anytime you
Brew?
want?
Yeah. So he was out of town for something, and then
Yeah.
Jeff and I made with the chat a beer called Tycho Brew.
You goofs. Now, it's pretty much looking like Columbus is going to win. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Hey.
You were right. I mean, you're a prophet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If Jesse likes it, maybe we can make it on our own.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. You do it at home.
But no,
You got that
no
one barrel
loses.
system coming in.
Yeah,
so
that's
it's,
true.
it's fine. You're good.
Chinook Smash
So
coming at you.
this is also something for the live event.
Yeah.
One thing that we do every once in a while in the tasting room with tours is actually doing hop teas, where it's not even a beer; it's just hops in cold and hot water.
I think this is really important to do.
yes,
Right? I mean, because I do that
Columbus?
because I have hops on my fence
U.S. Columbus or UK?
for that
Or no, that's
purpose.
Columbia.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, hops have their
I remember being that low
origin
though.
in a medicinal context. Right?
CTE.
Yeah. Perfect.
and because what was it? What was it in Gruit that would grow or got mold? One of the old bittering agents for beer before hops were used
Oh no!
would grow
Ergot?
ergot, and so it sort of
Ruh-roh.
yeah, LSD with a lot more shitting your pants.
Wow!
Like it had a little bit more psychoactive. Heather, that's what it was. It would
There
grow on the
we
bottom
go.
of heather.
Hey, so that's intense. Yeah. So Columbus it is.
Columbus it is.
Cool.
So we got Columbus, we got Pale. Now, what's the yeast we're going to go with on this?
We have juice in house, which is the Imperial. What is it? London
London
3.
3.
One and
Yeah.
three. Cool.
It's just a different
That's
brand
what we have regularly available
Yeah.
to us. We also have a lager strain if we want to get weird. And
Ooh, Smash Lager. Smash ITL.
Here.
Yeah.
So hook me up. Tell me about London 3, and then tell me about your lager strain.
yeah, so it's known as juice. So super juicy, brings like slight ester depending on fermentation temperature.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Attenuates pretty well,
Yeah.
so it can dry out nicely.
Got some Quebec noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, intravinegar. There you go.
Yeah.
So tell me about your lager is basically like second start of the right until morning, like leave the ingredients alone, basically, right?
Yep.
It's based off of the what was it? Czech Pilsner.
Czech Pils, yeah.
Pilsner Urquell. It was based
Oh,
off
okay,
of the
yeah.
yeast, the yeast for that. What?
We actually have an India Pale Lager currently that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
What's
It's
it
a
called?
house beer for one of the places up on Capitol Hill.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, so how does that work? Like on the back end, like places will restaurants or they'll come to you and say, "Hey, we're looking for something custom, like a custom tap," or do you go to them? Or I mean, how does that work as a
I
business?
think they came to us on that one. Yeah.
Little bit of
Low column A,
both?
low column B.
right.
Yeah.
We have our reps. A big part of, because the beer industry is so saturated, a big part of having a handle in a Seattle establishment is you go and you say, how can we take care of you? What do you guys need?
Jesus. Well, yeah.
Where's the
You gotta push.
Where are the gaps in your handles? And so the beer that Jesse's talking about is for the Unicorn up on Capitol Hill.
Yep.
Oh, sure.
The tap handle is literally a giant rainbow unicorn handle.
It's like totally custom end to end.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they came to us and they said, we want something really sessionable, but
Is
also
that part of the pitch? You're like, hey, we'll give you a fucking baller handle.
no, they built it.
That's all.
We said we'll give them we'll give it a baller beer, and they're like, we'll pimp the hell out of it. So everyone like, what's the beer with the unicorn handle?
Yeah.
That's the shit we want.
That's
But
brilliant. I mean,
it's
great
really,
marketing.
really great. That is another staff favorite for us.
Yep. And the first recipe I ever made.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
Internally.
Very cool.
Oh, God bless.
Yeah.
So check out this. This has been a fight. So it started very.
Yeah.
It was 70-30, and then it's slowly closing in.
But again, this is
Lager's holding strong,
You
though.
Yeah.
cannot you cannot minimize like this is if what we have said before is true. If the purpose of this is to actually discover these ingredients on their own terms. Lager yeast is the right choice,
Yeah.
right?
Feeling it
Now
very
the juice would be totally
Yeah.
interesting. Like it would still be good. It would still be an amazing beer.
We don't lose either way.
No. But I think that the reason lager popped up is because we're trying to figure out, like with the rest of our slate, like this is an interesting way to learn about this process, right? Yeah, I'm calling it. That's lager yeast.
Yeah.
Now we also need a name for this human fighter beverage. Yeah, and he has, let the ingredients speak.
Yeah.
Takun is saying, do a champagne yeast, like a dry champagne
Sword and board. Holy shit.
yeast. Sword and board is the classic. Yeah.
Level 1, Amber Council champion. Bonus action, yeah. Stock character. Fantasy Steve Ale.
Fantasy Steve, I'm down with.
Yeah. Second Wind, okay.
Second Wind looks like it. That
Yeah.
looks like something you would have on your own branding
Yeah.
already, right?
Dual wield. That's a
Mr. Smith. John Smith. The human fighter.
John Smith is another great name.
switch hitter. Leroy Jenkins. Come on.
Greg Human.
Greg Human, man. Yeah. Yeah, right.
Chamor, I like it. Arena Ale, also tasteful.
Pre-made character, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Base attack plan.
Unarmed strike.
Unarmed
Ooh,
strike, I
that's
like that.
good, yeah.
A little bit more monkey, but
Yeah. It's in there.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Action economy.
How do I play this game?
A hoplite. I think
Oh, hot
was it?
light.
hoplite
Hoplite?
is
Yeah.
fucking legit. So I'm putting it up.
Smash and grab.
Smash and grab is
GM
good.
Rocky, that's great.
All right, let me put this bad boy up here.
Pilsner in a can. Andrew, I swear to God.
Dude, so is it just nonstop? Is it just nonstop trolling?
We want it. We just have to
Yeah.
convince our bosses to let it. We have to move the machinery of the company to our whims.
So S.A. Wells dropped in something really nice. First session.
Ooh.
So that, I mean,
Yeah.
it was after I already hit it, unfortunately. But how crafty is this, right? So first session, right? So it's like
Yeah.
the very first character you make,
Yep.
Yeah.
Human Fighter.
It's a
but
little
then it's
lower in
also
alcohol.
sessionable.
God, that's really good, SA. Shit.
It's so good. It's so good. mate.
Does it get
The first session of beer we made with two beers.
I was going to say Hoplite and Sword and Board are sort of running away.
yeah, no,
Maybe we do a
they're
runoff with
pig wrestling, as they say.
Sword and Board is just so.
But there's not really a comparison here. I'm just going to break it down to Sword and Board and
Yeah.
Hoplite right now.
Do you want to throw first
Yeah.
whatchamacallit in
I
there?
like first session,
First session in there?
Okay, name.
Yeah.
This first session is going to have a real rough ride with Hoplite and Sword and Board. But we're going
Yeah,
to do
Sword and Board's really good.
Wild card.
Oh,
It's the wild card.
All right, now here's the runoff you've been waiting for.
Let's see it.
Hoplite v Sword and Board v.
Whoa!
Oh yeah, Shroomish. These are all A plus.
Yeah. Like, we can't lose with this beer.
No. It's going to be real nice. Hey, so when it comes down to like when you're running the canning line, how do you put? Is it printing the label in real time?
No. So we work with a vendor down in California that prints it. These
And then
ones-
you get them in a box and load them in.
Yep. We work with one of the advantages of having a company that does mobile canning, contract canning. They have all of their labeling machinery, so we can
But
literally.
even they don't do it on the truck. It isn't real time.
No. Whenever they show up to a brewery, they offload all of their equipment and position it in space.
Gotcha.
Close, because you want the shortest amount of run between the tank and your canning line possible, so that the beer can't warm up. You need it nice and cold so that it doesn't foam too much as it
sure.
goes into the can.
Because we're canning at 33 degrees.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You want a little bit of foam coming out so that the CO2 coming out of the beer is pushing any air that might have yeast or bacteria
It
or
has to
whatever
get out.
up and out right before that cap
Well,
lands on it.
real quick, you can only see the percentages up there.
Yeah.
So but what I want you to know is that first session is 3 or 4 times the rest. First session is real good.
Shruma said, what if first session is the name for a series?
Well, yeah, I mean, this often happens.
Yeah.
This often happens that we'll get a name, like multiple names will be much beloved, or the concept that we have is something we want to continue to explore. So it's entirely possible that first session is going to be a series of smash beers.
Well, shit.
Gathered Throng, precious chat. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. I also want to thank Two Beers for a bunch of reasons. First of all, thanks for rolling out. Thanks for bringing us a bunch of great stuff. Thanks for being a friend to the channel. Really appreciate it. And also, thanks for hosting our event
Of course.
on April 16th, where you'll be able to try all these things. Now, of course, the link you should see right here in the channel very shortly. Take a look. Put your name in there. Bring a group if you like. Of course, it's $10 to come, but that $10 covers your tasters of 2 of the classic beers that we've done at Acquisitions Intoxicated, and what is now being called First Session, Human Fighter-based smash we put together for the channel. Now, I don't expect anyone else to do this except for Eric and I.
Ryan Hartman. can we talk about Ryan Hartman for 2 seconds?
It's been 2 beers since you looked at me. Okay. We don't need any of this. You're on thin fucking ice. Eric, if you'd be so kind, we're going to grab the machinery of the universe and we're going to put it over to my friend Mike, who you may know as C.W. Gabriel, the Art Angel. We're going to draw tomorrow's strip, and then we'll be coming right back here into the studio at 3 o'clock to paint some minis. I hope you're ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
We're on this shit.
ready.
Those motor skills dialed in.
Oh, no,
now.
they're gripped. Thanks so much, Two Beers. Thanks, Jesse. Thanks,
God,
Alex.
yeah.
Thanks, Dan. An absolute pleasure.